I have a long video for you because since quarantine, I've been into YouTube and BookTube specifically, and it inspired me to read more and go out and get more books for my collection. Since quarantine started, I have read, I think, 20 books, and normally I only read 12 in a year, so that is a huge accomplishment for me, and I still have 3 months left in the year, so my goal now is to reach 30 by the end of the year, and I'm at 25. I'm probably going to go over because when Christmas comes around, I read a lot more. Today I have a huge haul to share with you. I've been thrifting, I've been to yard sales. Mostly I went to Goodwill and Salvation Army, and most of the books were $1, but there was a group of books that I got for 98 cents. 8 books, 98 cents when I went on vacation this year at Salvation Army. So without further ado, let's get started on the books I've accumulated in the last 3 months. I'm going to go through it quick, so I'm not going to give a synopsis on any of these. I'm just going to go through all the titles that I've got and show you the books. So the first book is The Help. And then I got the Hallmark version of The Wizard of Oz. I got The Death Collector. I got When It Happens. And before I go on, I just want to give a little bit about what I like to read. I'm all over the place when I read. My favorite author is Nicholas Sparks. He's a great beach read and I love a good romance story. But I also read from Nicholas Sparks to Harry Potter to mystery with a lot of James Patterson to crime. I read all over the place. So that's why my books are kind of in a wide range of genres. Alright, so the next book I got is Keeping the Moon by Sarah Dessen. This one is Winter Stories by Ellen Hilderbrand. And sorry if I butcher any author names. The Pact by Jodi Picoult. I actually have a few Jodi Picoult books, and I've only read a couple, but I really like her writing, so I wanted to get more books for my library with her. I got Bad Monkey by Carl Hiaasen. He's the author of, oh my goodness, I can't remember. He is the author of Hoot, and I just watched the movie, and I really enjoyed Hoot, so I am going to give him a try and read some more of his books and see how I like it. Now this one's really out there for me. It's called Dino Croc. It just reminded me of those cheesy movies. I'm a movie person and like the cheesy sci-fi movies, so I wanted to give this a go. So it's Dino Croc by Roger Cormans. So it's based on a screenplay, so we'll see how that is. And then I used to love the X-Files shows, so I got the X-Files, and this is a combination of 2 books called Goblins and Whirlwinds by Charles Grant. And like I said, I am a movie buff, and I have watched all of these movies on Netflix by Jenny Han. This is the 3rd book in the series, so I still have to find the first 2. This one is Always and Forever, Laura Jean. And the first one is, let's see, what is it called? To All the Boys I Loved Before is the first one in the series. The second one is the P.S. I Love You, and then this is the 3rd. So I can't start the series until I find the other 2. And usually I don't buy books full price unless they're by Nicholas Sparks or an author that I really, really like. This one is Looking for Alaska by John Green. The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. Now these 2 I knew were being made into movies. They might already be out. And I always like to read the book first and then watch the movie. So when I saw these in the thrift store, I picked them up really quickly. and I'm very excited. So I've already read this one, and this is Night by Ellie Weasel, but I wanted to have this in my collection. It reminds me of my school days, and it's a great, touching story about the Holocaust times. A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khalid Hosseini. He's the author of The Kite Runner. I've never read either, but I've heard they're amazing. So I do own The Kite Runner already, so I wanted to get this one, and eventually I'll read both of them. So Michael Crichton, I have never read any of these books, but I am a huge Jurassic Park fan. I haven't found Jurassic Park, the book, yet, but I did find this one, Prey. I have no idea what it's about, but I do know that he is really well known, and I wanted to give him a try. This one I specifically know is from a yard sale because I went today, and I own all of the Harry Potter books, and I'm actually currently rereading them again, but I've read my books so much that they're falling apart, so I've been looking for thrifted versions in hardbacks, and I finally found this one, and it's in great condition. You wouldn't even know it was used. So I picked it up for only $1. The next one is An Outlaw's Christmas by Linda Leigh Miller. And I love getting Christmas books because I told you when Christmas comes around, I will read any Christmas novel. I'm a huge Christmas fan. So I picked this up. The next one I got is The Unwanted Guest by Charlie Lapina. Most of the time I pick up books that I have heard from BookTube, or I read the synopsis on the back or in the book and determine if I would like it or not. Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn, and I've seen the movie already, so now I want to read the book to compare it to the movie. The next one is The Start of Me and You by Emery Lord. Again, most of these I don't know what they're about, or I know a little bit about them just from BookTube. I was so excited to find this next one in the thrift store. I've heard so much about it on BookTube, and it sounds something that will really warm my heart, and it's The Man Called Ove by Frederick Backman, and I've heard great things about this author, and there's more books that I want to get from him, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one. The next one that I thrifted was The Maze Runner. So now I have the first book, and I have thrifted the third one already, so I just need the middle one. I've seen all the movies, but I heard the books are much better than the movies, so I want to compare and read these, and I love this type of story. Alright, so I actually didn't know there was a second book to Stargirl, and I found this Love Star in the thrift store. I think this one was at Goodwill, so I picked it up really fast because I love Stargirl. It was a middle grade book that I read in middle school, and then they just came out with a movie on Disney Plus, which was actually really good. I like that. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one and to see what it's about. I had no idea there was a second one. And then I got Number the Stars, and I've actually already read this by Lewis Lowry. It's about the Holocaust time period, World War II, and I enjoyed it. It's definitely a middle grade book, but it was one on the list that you should have read in school, and I never did. So I picked it up and I read it, and I really enjoyed it. I actually gave it a 3 stars, just because it is middle grade and it's simple, but it was still a really good story. The next one was another one that I probably should have read in school and never did, and have heard great things about. And it's Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Another John Green one, Paper Towns. I have seen the movie of this. John Green, I have read The Fault in Our Stars and really enjoyed that, so I wanted to get more books by him. And the next one is Elvis, The Early Years. I love Elvis. I have a record player right over there, and I just got a bunch of Elvis records for free. I love him. I get the love from my grandmother. This one has been on my list forever. ever since I've always known about this book, but it's Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy, and I know it's a chunker, and I know it's very difficult to read, but I've heard great things about it. I always hear quotes from it, so I really want to give it a go. We'll see when that happens. But I picked that up at a yard sale for $1. The next one is The Secret, which the movie is coming out soon. I think it might already be in theaters. And I have read bits and pieces of this before and listened to the tape when I was in college for softball. One of our team bondings was listening to this. And I know it's just about positive thinking, and I like to read things like this to get me in a positive mindset and to reach my goals with certain things. So this might be next on my list because the movie's coming out and because the time's going on, there's some negative things happening. So I want to get my mind in the right mindset, so this might be next on my list. I've heard so much about this author, and I've heard good things and bad things with her book. So this is Ruth Ware, The Turn of the Key. I have seen the movie and was confused about the ending, so I've heard that the book explains it more, and I love a good horror mystery story, so I'm looking forward to reading this. I'll probably read this in October, because it's a little creepy. But this is my first book by her, Ruth Ware, and I have a few more on my to-get list by her. So I'm hoping this is good, and I can't wait to read this. We have about 10 more. So the next one I got is Spark Joy by Marie Kondo. I have watched her show on Netflix, and I'm a huge organizer. I love to organize, and I love to read about organizing and getting new ideas. So I'm looking forward to reading this and just tidying up my life a little bit more. The next book I've got is Reservation Road by John Burhan Swartz. I have seen the movie, and I wanted to get the book. The next book is Seabiscuit by Laura Hillenbrand. I've only seen the movie once, and there's been so many people that have talked about this book. So I decided to pick it up because it's one of those books that you always see in the thrift store multiple times, and then finally my cousin encouraged me to get it and persuaded me to get it, so I got it. And this book was actually in the deal when I went on vacation and went to Salvation Army, and I got 8 books for a total of 98 cents. That's insane. The next book is The Fifth Wave by Ricky Yancey, another movie that I've seen, and I wanted to get the book and compare. And a classic, the next one is The Perfect Storm by Sebastian Junger. And I'm a huge Marky Mark fan, and I just watched the movie on vacation, and then I found the book at that Salvation Army that I was at, and I picked it up. I've picked it up a few times in the thrift store and always put it back because I already knew the story, but I have to read it and compare because that's just how I am with movies and books. The next one is Mitch Albom, The Timekeeper. I've read a few of Mitch Albom's, and I always enjoy his story, so I'm building my collection of his work. And I got another Gillian Flynn, Sharp Objects. I have no idea what this is about, but I do know his Gone Girl, and I'm looking forward to reading this one too. A few more. I got Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty. I've heard great things about this too. I've never read her work before. I'd never seen the show on HBO, I think it is. So I'm looking forward to reading this, and if I do like her work, I'm going to get more of it. So the next 2 are by the same author, and again, I've heard great things about her, and I've never read her work either. So that's Kristen Hanna, and I got Night Road, and I also got Fly Away. So I have no idea what these 2 are about. I've just heard great things about her and that her writing just captures you, so I'm looking forward to reading those. The next one I got is Dewey. I'm a huge cat person. My cat is over there actually right now, and she'll probably show up in videos eventually because she's very nosy. Her name's Mika. So I got this one. So it's Dewey, the small town library cat who touched the world. So it's a cat that is in the library and it's all about books. So I couldn't pass this up. Other than that, I don't know what it's about. I hope it is very touching. The last book I got is Running with Scissors by Augustin Burroughs. Again, I know this is a memoir. I don't really know much about it. I've heard great things. So, we'll see. So that's all of the books I've thrifted so far. There's a few other ones that I've bought for full price, but that'll be another video. So, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you soon. And don't forget to hit subscribe and hit that bell button so you get notifications for my next video. Bye!